Welcome to another episode of Deep Dive in the pattern series brought to you by the Drop Stitch. Today I'm going to be talking about aspen, and it is my ear flap hat that, in my humble opinion, I feel like it's one of the best ones out there. It has a double headband and ear flap, so it adds for extra warmth. So this is kind of what it looks like when it's finished. And I used Ultra Alpaca worsted weight yarn I think it's a little bit of a light worsted weight yarn. And I used 3 colors. In this hat it was the purple, the cream or natural, and the black. I used a size 5 needle, and I start off with the Provisional cast on. And so let me demonstrate that for you right now. For the Provisional cast on, you're going to take your waist yarn, which in this case is my cream, and I want my ear flaps and the headband, the inner headband of the hat, to be black in this case. So I'm going to, excuse me, put it on the right side here. I'm going to start out with a slip knot, or not a slip knot, but I'm tying the 2 strands together with about a 2.5 inch tail on either side. And I'm going to kind of make a wedge, if you can see that. And I believe you stick your needle in the wedge, like right here in the crux of the wedge. And you're just going to take the tip, and you're going to go around, and you're going to go all the way around, and then you're going to go into the hole, and you're just going to gently pull down, and that makes 2 stitches. You're going to go in the hole all the way around. Don't stop. Keep going till it's back towards you, and then you're going to go the end in the hole, and then you're just going to gently tug down on that waist yarn. And now I have 4. So each process of this stitch makes 2 stitches. So for instance, in this hat, you cast on 120 stitches. So I count 60 processes, which is 60 times 2, which is 120. And that way you have less to count. It is a little bit hard to count this if you stop midstream. And I'm going to show you why. Because see, this is kind of a floating stitch that's just kind of hanging on the shelf, like just kind of draped over the needle. And then the waist yarn kind of comes up and over to make the stitch. So it's very vulnerable when you stop, just to give you a little heads up. So that's why I want to count this, and count this not speedily but quickly. So I would say that's 1 process, 1, and then 2, and I'm going to count to 60, and I will have 120 stitches when I'm done. So again, I'm going to take the tip of the needle, and I'm going to go in the rabbit hole, and I'm going to go all the way around and keep going until that needle is facing you again, and then go in the rabbit hole again, and then gently tug down. Don't pull too tight, because then you'll make your stitches really, really tight. So you're going to do this for the number of stitches in any pattern that calls Provisional cast on, the number of stitches, and in this case I need 120. And I'm going to go in, keep going all the way around, don't stop, and then go in the hole. A lot of people will go in the hole, and then they get to here and they stop and want to come up, but keep going until it starts where it finishes, or finishes where it started. And then go in the hole and tug down. You go in the hole, go all the way around till it's back pointing you, and then go in the hole and then gently tug down. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 times 2 is 16, so I have 16 stitches. Now let's say that I have the 120 stitches for the hat. The next part of the pattern is going to tell you to, before you join it in the round, to turn it and knit 1 round. So you're going to, it's kind of tricky to knit that first stitch because it's just like a shelf hanging there, but you're just going to take it around and you're just going to knit it. want that working yarn to be, I want to grab the working yarn needs to go through the stitch so that it will grab it. Or sometimes you can knit an extra stitch and then knit two together is okay too. Now you're going to knit back on that very first round of the ear flap hat. Then I would say probably generally speaking, anytime you use a provisional, you're probably going to do at least one knit to kind of lock in that waste yarn. So you're just going to knit all the way back. All right. When you put it in the round, you need to make sure that your waste yarn edge, and you can see the white, make sure you have, when you choose your waste yarn, that you have one, it's the same size yarn, so worsted or all fingering or whatever, but that you want to be able to see that waste yarn at the bottom, and that's your kind of your cast on edge. So when you put it in the round, it will help you to make sure that things aren't twisted. And then for this purpose in the hat, you're going to count this as one row, and now you're going to knit 19 more rows, all right? And then you're going to, the pattern says, then you're going to purl around. Well, okay, so let's look at the pattern here. We're going to cast on the 120 stitches with the provisional cast on and knit one row and then join in the round. Place the beginning or of the round marker, be careful not to twist the stitches, and knit 19 more rounds, okay? Then you're going to do the ear flap, and this is where I will shoot another video showing you the ear flap, because basically it's just created with a bunch of short rows, and all of this is really kind of one long row. So get started. Your first task is to knit that 19 rows, and then we will come back and join in for the ear flap.